Well, I just want to take memes on the people's democratic parties. Now we can resolve issues. Well, this whole stuff has come up and deliberation is going on all over the 37 states of the federations right now. Some are saying I am not in an ADP so should make a proclaims saying that I don't want 4 years, 8 year extensions by uh, by the government by deciding for APCs. That's not the bone of contentions. I'm saying I want governments that can deliver that. I want a government that can do that to which the people actually agitated for and was demanded for. Of course, I'm a politician and I've been playing those games none now. Of course, a lot of people knows me will understand I don't read quack newspapers in discussing my political issues. If you're gonna ask properly, you want to know. I read papers like the Vanguard. I read papers like the Sun. I read papers like the Punch newspapers. I read papers like the Nation newspapers. Okay, I don't deal with quack newspapers. Before they're talking under the People's Democratic Party's PDP. I don't call myself a former government member. I don't want to associate myself. I was a former member who could be able to nationalize issues based on what we are curious about within the confines of the constitutions. I don't do that. I just want to let the people to understand that we went 4 years down. Of course, these things can be done. Of course, you have seen a lot of amenities and grounds that has been done. Not even the House of Assembly that did that. My own government actually did that again in Buhari's administrations. I let Buhari administrations to work under my godfather regimes. I want Buhari administrations to work better there. You saw a lot of reforms across all over the states, being everywhere, being infrastructured that this nation today claim as their own properties, which I kept quiet. I don't want any problems. I challenge the House of Assemblies. Nobody's challenged me and they all deliberated. They have no hands in those infrastructures. Up to today, I still control those infrastructures. If you go to Ojo local government, you will see a lot of infrastructures being done there. My government, as the PDP leader in my constituency, led those governments to work. Good luck, 8 years and 4 years, President's Democratic movement was also my own, under my own government, under my own office, under my own chamber. I managed to work despite there were a lot of less infrastructures in the government. I wasn't worried. I put those stuff in order. I was playing not student game. I was playing NACS leadership, National Association of Nigerian Students, as the head, as the richest member under education reforms. Look my name, watch my name, look that name Coco under educational reforms. You understand that I'm talking about government for change. I'm talking about government for infrastructures. I'm talking about government for transparency. I'm talking about government for tranquility. I'm talking about government for impunity. It's not less government. It's a lot of persons that really want to understand what is actually going on. That's by the way. I'm talking about how we can put a structure on ground. Come to the mainland, highland issues. We have done a lot of jobs. Going to VI, we have done a lot of jobs in Lekki and all that. Not even the Lagos state government that is in doing those infrastructure, building those infrastructures under PDP. He said it's still my PDP government that is still working on those government. We're not talking about that. We're not saying these are printed films for infrastructures, but these are money meant for some government prominent leaders who actually are members of this cartel that is independent those funds for the workers to work. So I don't see any person coming out telling me I'm gonna lead it under the APC, so I shouldn't make decisions for APC. Of course, we are all political parties, and I want Nigerians. I don't want differentiations. I don't want differentiations of government. I don't want fractions of government. I don't want coalitions. I don't want problems that will escalate more. Of course, if they want it, of course, there's need for that, and I can show myself and say there is no problem. Of course, going to a Kenya House of Assembly, I've seen a lot of stuff that has been on ground that has been done under my own government in Ikeja, not even in their own government. I reserve that there's nothing that you guys can do that can change this system. We just have to believe in what we can do and change that from us. I said, let the APC work for 4 years and give power back to who power is due for, which we are deciding for, that will handle powers. And I looked into that and I work with that. I don't want any contradictions, any deliberations about that, any agitations about disunity, any agitations about not understanding core decisions made by we, the leaders. So let them understand that Buhari government was also achieved through my own government, through PDP, despite as a member of the APC. I am not worried. A lot of infrastructures that are on ground right now in Ojo was not done by anybody in Ojo, but it's still my own government that's secret with every workers working in there, doing, deliberating with funds that are being used to infrastructure them. Tell me how funds was raised to infrastructure those big infrastructures. Nobody can talk about that. So I leave that for the next agenda, for the next plans. So let's talk on peace building for now, and not escalating more talk based on issues that are not real. Okay? All right.